Hey, good morning, everyone. If I got a word for you today, I was kind of reading in the book of Acts, chapter 8, verse 4. Chapter 8 is talking about the great persecution of the church, where Saul, who later became Paul, was just chasing down Christians and having them locked up, having them killed, things such as that. But there in verse 4, it just kind of struck me. He says, those who had been scattered preached the word wherever they went. So the great persecution was upon the church in that day, and those that were scattered, the Bible's telling us those is, when you look at it today, those is you and me. You know what I mean? There's not a great persecution, but let's face it, when you stand up and you become that Jesus guy, we become that, that Jesus club, that Jesus patch in these, in the outreaches and the bike shows and things such as that. There's a little persecution that comes along with that, but the Bible's telling us, and challenging me and challenging you, is saying those who had been scattered. We're scattered. There's not a great persecution in the United States. They're not killing Christians, but as we're scattered out amongst the folks, the people, your Jerusalem, your Samaria, your outer limits of the world that you're called to, God's challenging us. He's saying those who had been scattered preached the word. What word? The manual. They preached the word. They testified about what God did in their lives. They didn't have a Bible back then, so to speak. They didn't have the New Testament to go out and share. They testified what God had done. They testified what they saw Jesus do. They testified to what they'd witnessed. And God's challenging us. He's saying that's you and me. He said those who had been scattered preached the word wherever they went. It didn't say some of the places that they went. It says they preached the word, they lived the word, they acted out the word wherever. That means everywhere. Wherever themselves. They wasn't dependent on the pastor to do it. And not that the pastors don't do it, but wherever they went. So I want you to grab a hold of that. There's some persecution going on around the world, but it's not, people in the United States not being killed for proclaiming the name of Christ into this world. So God's challenging you. He's challenging me to preach the word as we are scattered about in this old lost and hurting world. Somebody that's hurting? Man, I know a lot of people that are hurting. So I want to challenge you. God's challenging you to preach the word wherever you go. They did it. You can do it. Be blessed.